Good morning guys, it's early in the morning, we're standing here in front of Bump Technology, sun is shining, good day. We're meeting up with Jake, one of the founders of Bump, that should be very interesting. After that we got an appointment at the VC firm Andreessen Horowitz, one of the biggest ones here in the Valley. Right after that we got an ETL lecture at Stanford, that should be very interesting as well. And right at the end of the day it's going to be a meet-up with BASES and the Danish and Korean Entrepreneurship Student Clubs. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting day and we'll see what happens.
Jake, you just told us about Bump and your history and how you started Bump. Can you tell me again what you think about business plans and like thinking everything through before?
Yeah, it was interesting. So I mean, Dave and I were both in business school, and we were in that whole environment when we started Bump. So business plans were obviously a very common thing that our colleagues were working on. And I think there are elements of a business plan that are useful, but the business plan as a whole is the wrong direction. So like the elements of a business plan, like how you're going to market your product, how you're going to acquire users, what your business model. You need to think about all of those things and have an idea of what you're going to do. But all the assumptions you make, most of them are going to be wrong. And so you want to think about these things and get like 70% confidence on it, and then go actually build something and test. Because until you actually put things in people's hands, you won't know what the real answers are. You won't be able to prove your assumptions right or wrong. And so I saw a lot of our colleagues at business school overly focused on the business plan, trying to get it perfect, and way past the point of diminishing returns. So think about the things in the business plan, like all of the subject matter in it is important, but don't try and get it perfect. The only way to really get the data that matters is to build something and to launch something.
All right, thank you very much.
Great, thanks.
Alright, that was Jake Mintz from Bump Technologies, a really cool, chilled out guy, gave us great insights into his product and his office. Now we're here at Center Road, just in the hills over Stanford, and to visit Andreessen Horowitz, one of the biggest VC firms in the Valley, and really excited to learn new things about venture capitalist funding and how everything goes and sticks together in the Valley.
So Shannon, can you tell us the difference between a normal or like a regular VC and Andreessen Horowitz?
Sure. So we were actually, Mark and Ben had a different theory about how to structure a venture capital firm. So first, our general partners all have operating backgrounds, so they've all been internal to a company. CEOs built companies, raised money, gone through all the different aspects of building a company. Instead of having multiple general partners who are focused in different domains, we have a smaller amount of general partners with a operations staff behind them. So the operations staff will help our companies, whether it's on the people practices, executive talent, corp dev, biz dev, marketing. We have a staff of individuals that go horizontally across all the different companies and work with our entrepreneurs to build their companies.
Okay, and what criteria do you have in terms of teams? Like, do you just invest in teams from Stanford or like Stanford grads or Ivy League?
Right.
Or
So we're really looking at the people, the product, and the market. We don't expect all of our investments to have teams that come out of Stanford or an MIT. It's really not where the education came from, but more their ability to build the product and build the organization. We don't really focus on what they were looking at or where they were studying. More on their technical ability and their understanding of their market.
All right, thank you very much.
Sure. Thanks.
So that was Andreessen Horowitz. Really got a lot of insights and learnings about VCs in the Valley. And now we're heading back to Stanford Campus to join ETL Lecture.
We'll hear a lecture by Method Home, a company which is all about keeping the world clean. And afterwards we'll go to meet people from BASES, the Entrepreneur Club from Stanford, and I'm sure we'll bond and maybe we'll get to know how they are structured. And a small group of people will go to meet Burton Lee, professor from Stanford. And then there are others who will be at a workshop from BASES, which is all about how to design iPhone apps. I'm sure that'll be very interesting. So yeah, stay in touch.
Alright, so we've been at ETL Lectures in Stanford. I met up with BASES and the Korean group of entrepreneurs and from Altos. Now we're sitting here with Burton Lee. He's a professor at Stanford Engineering School and he's really involved in the whole entrepreneurship topics at Stanford in Silicon Valley. You really know the outputs from healthcare really well. Could you tell us a little bit about what they managed to do in the last years?
Sure. Well, I teach and do research in the area of European entrepreneurship and innovation at Stanford in the engineering school. Some of the work I do is looking at what's happening on the European entrepreneurship and innovation scene. One of the more exciting developments I've seen has been what the Aalto Entrepreneurship Society has done out of Helsinki. This is a student-run entrepreneurship group which started in the engineering school at Aalto University, I think back in 2009 and 2010, so they're a little over two years old. This was started by a guy named Kristo Ovaska, who's a former student, then a student at Aalto University. They've been extremely successful in attracting student interest from around the university and attracting company interests from other investors, entrepreneurs around Helsinki and in Finland, and also in attracting interest here in Silicon Valley among the broader Finnish and Silicon Valley community. They convinced the university senior administrators to give them facilities. They convinced the government of Finland, Tekas, to give them a major grant, I think in the neighborhood of 200,000 euros to support their activities. They do regular trips here to Silicon Valley to bring students and their companies. Based on all the university student entrepreneurship groups I've seen today in Europe, I believe they're the most successful example of what a student entrepreneurship group can do in Europe in terms of becoming a real player in the national and regional innovation ecosystem. The students there have gone from nothing to becoming a major player on the Finnish innovation scene, and I think it's very possible and hopeful that the student entrepreneurship group at KIT can follow their path, learn from their example, learn from what student groups at Stanford, MIT, other U.S. universities do, and also have a major role to play in helping move their region to more of an innovation and entrepreneurship-centric economy and set of activities.